that's the coolest thing I've ever done. I'm like, you got to get out more, brother, because you have got to be training. If you're throwing that lead down that range at the cost of ammo right now, you have got to be doing some serious training.
Not Me is for women, by women, and is designed to help women with training, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. And guess what? It's free. If you are a woman or you know a woman who needs help, have her sign up, and we will give her the help she needs. To sign up, go to notmesd.org. Okay, I got an update.
Go ahead.
On the Gundies. You have to go to the Gundies. You
Yep.
have to put an account in. Okay, and then you look for the area that we're in, and you click on it, and you're allowed to vote. You get 15 votes. So you can vote. I voted once, and it has not let me vote again. So I don't know when this thing ends, but you have up to 15 votes. So folks, go to Gundies.
Sounds easy. Couldn't be easier.
Dude, it's a
You get one vote a day. Vote early, vote often. I've been voting for you guys for the last week and a half.
Oh, is it one day? Is it once a day?
I got to tell you, though.
But every listener out there should go to GUNDIES.com, make an account, and vote.
GUNDIES.com.
Correct.
Gundies.com.
And our category is Top Voices of the 2A.
Right.
There you go. I got to tell you, it sounds complicated, and it probably could be a little bit easier. But
Hey,
if Dave
did
figured it
I do
out,
it? Trust me.
if Dave figured it out and then just explained it, then by golly, everyone out there listening
So
can
there's
figure this
no
out.
reason why Alicia can't get the award.
Gundies, GUNDIES .com, and then look for us. Okay, Mike Pettengill from Personal Protection Academy. How are you, sir?
Wonderful, sir.
Fantastic to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Now, we were just talking a little bit about CCWs. We're talking about home defense. But I wanted to ask, California, how are the policies in California when it comes to FFLs? How are they doing?
Killing us softly with their love songs. They're doing everything they can to eliminate home-based FFLs. So ATF tells us that more than half of the FFLs in the U.S. are home-based.
Yeah.
California does not like that. Our business runs a home-based FFL with the goal being that you take the intro person into guns, right? They've just got in the process. Mike, I want to shoot my first gun. Great. Let's go to the range. We'll teach you safety. We'll teach you grip. We'll teach trigger pull and sight alignment. Mike, I think I like this. Now I got to figure out what gun I want to buy. Okay, let's take you back to the range. We'll let you shoot, 8 different guns. Mike, I think I want the Shield M&P, or I want the Glock 19, or I want the new 365. All right, not a problem. We're an FFL. We can get you that because we don't pay rent. We don't have staff. I can sell it to you for $20-$30 cheaper than any gun store can. And then we'll get that into you. We'll run your background check just like everybody else. Get the gun in your hand, and now we'll continue to train you with that gun. We'll move you towards a CCW. All this to say that was the model of our business, was to get you in the door to start learning about defending yourself, and then to give you all the resources you needed.
Yeah. One-stop shopping.
Yeah, that
Which
was
is kind of how it should be.
That was the goal. It was the mom and pop shop where you can build a relationship with Mike and Aaron Pettengill, and we can help you and your family feel comfortable. And so we had the FFL, and the FFL, it's not been a big part of our business financially. Yeah. I crunched the numbers. We're going to net on the FFL just this year about $5,000, right? That's not a big part of it. It's better than a stick in the eye, but it's not a big part of our business.
Well, one of the things that I think it's important to understand is, what's the margin on selling a gun?
It's not a lot.
Like if you sell a Glock 19 to somebody and they pay full price, you're not friends or family or whatever, they pay full price. What are you making on that?
So the wholesaler is going to sell it to me. It's going to sell it to me and Turner's and every gun shop around, same price. It's going to be about $430 plus about $10 or $15 in delivery.
So $430, you're going to sell it for maybe $100 more than that. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to do how many hours of paperwork on one gun?
Hour and a half.
But at least then you're efficient. You're doing well.
Yeah.
But it also requires, how long do you spend when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to buy a gun"? How many hours do you think you spend just talking to them about the right gun?
A lot more. The reality is selling guns was never a big part of our
Right.
business. Didn't matter to us, but it mattered to the people that bought the guns.
Sure. Okay.
Right?
But that's where I'm going with this. So would you say it's fair, including the hour and a half of paperwork, 5 hours?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So 5 hours. So you're making $20 an hour.
Yeah.
$20 an hour. Which is people flipping burgers are making $20 an hour now.
Right.
So the gun is the membership card. It's not the profit center. The gun is without the. Can a person who doesn't have a gun, and has no intention of buying a gun, are you going to be able to train that person?
No,
are they going to become
no, of course.
a student of yours?
Right.
So getting them that gun was really opening up an entire world of, now they need a holster, now they need a belt, now they need training, now they need a permit, now they need a Inland Empire Gun Owners membership, now they need all these things, right?
Right.
So it's not like you were making a ton of money with that gun sale, and I got to tell you, they don't like FFLs, and the home-based ones are just they're trying to chip away. So they're trying to hold back the brick and mortar, from expanding while they chip away and completely destroy the home-based FFLs.
You want to know who told me? Explain to me in great detail as to how egregious the new law, SB 1384, which takes effect January 1st for all FFLs. Who explained it to in the most plainest English possible was the contractor I brought in to give me a quote for a security system. And that's what this is all about. We're going to shut our FFL down on December 31st because we can't afford the security system that they want. And basically what the security system is 15 frames per second. It's 24/7 recording. It's live. It's at every point of entry and exit, inside and outside. It's every point of sale, which is my guest room in my condo. And it has to store all of that data on site for 365 days of the year. So the contractors that came in said, no, Mike, you must be mistaken. Pot shops and bars don't have that kind of an egregious limitation as to what's going on. You know what? Whoever designed this law looked into this to figure out how to shut you down, because the reality is with all that's taking place, it's 100 terabytes of data that has to be stored in my closet with hard drives running 24 hours a day, which they're going to overheat, and then I got to buy them again in a year. Right, and I got to store this data, so I've got to spend $7,000 to $10,000 to set up a security system to bring in $5,000 net profit on firearms.
Now, when you did the math on that, it didn't make financial sense.
Because
listen, I didn't go to math school, so I'm not a mathematician.
I am a classic C student. Thank you very much, and I can add that one up.
We rule the world. I got to tell you,
yeah.
man, C students, we rule the world. A+ students wouldn't have jobs if C students didn't exist.
When my daughter was in college, she looked at my undergrad transcripts and she said, "They give you a degree for that GPA?" So it's the contractors.
I
that
can't
come
even
in.
spell GPA, Mike.
Yeah, but how come jails' camera systems don't have to stay running?
Because they're not trying to get rid of jail. Well, actually, they kind of are trying to get rid of jails because
And the people in them?
they can't bankrupt the jails. So they've completely they've financed you out of business is really what happened, and you're not the only one.
Yeah, it's not. And to be honest, if it was break even, I couldn't care less. I said this is not a big money making venture for us. This is so that we can easily get the firearms that someone wants to defend themselves, and that's it. And here's why they're trying to shut us down: is they're pretty darn confident that what's going on is we're running guns out our back door and making sure that Alicia gets all the off-roster guns that she wants, and we're just pushing them out the back door.
They're pushing you to that.
Yeah, and
They want you to be a criminal so they can catch you.
The laws already exist that would make me a criminal if I did that, right? But they just.
But this is one way to push you just a little bit harder.
Yeah, and here's what I've said is the state of California doesn't want home-based FFLs or small FFLs to exist, and I got to throw up my hands up and say, you guys win.
Yeah,
I don't have the time and the resources to fight this. If I broke even or lost $1,000, I'd continue doing it.
But I guarantee you, they're going to be looking at you from this day forward. If you say I'm not going to do an FFL, they're going to look at your phones. They're going to look at everything to see if they can catch you going out the back door.
Well, I'm a creeper, but I'm not that bad.
But I'm just saying. See, that's the bad thing about it.
Well, it's Sacramento. I've said this for a while. I've long said that Sacramento looks at Californians as a source of income or a future felon.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we are to them.
Yeah.
And period. And you used to work in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Am I far off?
No, that's exactly it. I mean, the reality is that I don't want to get too political on it, but
Get political.
Oh no, go ahead. It's all right. We're already upset.
If I wore a skirt, it would be fine. But the fact is that
2 minutes.
The fact is that I want to fire a handgun. Now, one is protected by the Constitution verbatim, and the other is not. And the reality is because they don't like that portion of the Constitution, I'm the scumbag that they want to drive out of business.
I'm going
And
to tell
they
you.
will find a way to do it come hell or high water.
Had you shown up in a skirt today, I would have been very accepting of that, Mike.
Well,
Yeah,
I changed. I changed in the parking lot.
Depending-
Michael start wearing his again.
Depending on the skirt. I mean, it would have to be a flattering skirt, something that really brought your eyes out. But
Skin
other
tight.
than that,
Skin tight.
Dave
I
just
taught
made just took weird and made it weirder. Thanks, Dave.
I taught an all women's class yesterday, and I said, I know you guys were expecting my wife, and I'm sorry she had to go teach a CCW class, and so I'm here to teach the women's class, and I know you were expecting a women's instructor, and one gal looked at me and said, "You're not?"
So she failed.
1 minute.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. It's
Have you given up yet?
oh, not even close. I mean, I got to tell you, man.
That's what they're waiting for.
How boring would it be if we got everything we wanted? We just sit around and have fun. Yeah, we just sit around and have fun all
Food
day
and watches.
and be free. That's all we'd talk about. That's all we'd have left to talk about is food and watches.
I'd be right there, brother. Let's do
Actually,
it.
this is not a bad.
I
Sounds like a
know.
cool show. Actually,
You got to throw
listen,
cigars in there.
This is, to be honest, this is the golden era of CCWs right now with the Bruin court
Amen.
case and the U.S. Supreme Court case and the way things are going with Judge Benitez and the way the stuff's going Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. All the Southern California counties that are dishing out CCWs. This is the golden era of CCWs. So if they don't like it, I'm sorry, get over it. But Jim and Alicia and I are going to do everything we can to get CCWs into the hands of law-abiding citizens.
well,
Fast as you can.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think Jim's right too. In that, there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel. But what Jim's saying, if the millions of gun owners don't get involved, in a meaningful way, not just slacktivism where you're posting memes on Facebook and thinking that you're doing something good for the country, but in a meaningful way. If that doesn't happen, then this golden era is going to just, turn our skin green. It's not going to be real gold. So get involved, do something. I think it was eloquently and excellently put. You're absolutely right. It's a bright light at the end of the tunnel, but if we just sit here and complain about it or expect somebody else to get there, it's not going to happen. So get involved.
A lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, and your website looks great, but it's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words that make people buy. But now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customer to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is easy. Visit sagetree.com and click on the Schedule an Appointment button. That's sagetree.com and click on the Schedule a Call button now.
Our last segment reminded me of a joke. You guys want to hear a joke?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yeah.
How does a ninja defend against a non-binary person? How does a ninja defend against a non-binary person?
You're not talking to Sam, so just tell us.
Yeah.
They/them. Right?
Okay. For all complaints, 1-800-MIKE.
Did you see the Joe Rogan thing where he says, did you see the lady who was giving her pronouns and a cat slaps her?
Yeah, I did see that. I should probably should have gotten slapped.
That would have been better, yeah.
Where's the cat when you need one?
Mike, here's another one. What's a ninja's pronouns?
You just said that.
No.
different.
What is a ninja's pronouns?
Who, where?
He-ya! He-ya.
Where are you getting this stuff?
I'm just making it up on the spot. That's the kind of
Yeah,
guy I am. All right, Mike Pettingill from the Personal Protection Academy.
No, they're not
Can
coming
we
back.
talk about guns?
Yeah, they're not coming back thanks to you. All right.
Mike Pettingill from Personal Protection Academy, friend of the show, awesome guy, all around good dude. So I asked Jim earlier about some of the non-marksmanship things that people need to know about guns. You know, we all go we when we think practice, when we think proficiency, we immediately think about standing in a lane and putting some holes in paper. Jim had a couple of excellent points about that. What do you think? What are some of the things that you teach, some of the classes that you have that are not really aren't direct marksmanship or not marksmanship at all, and there's stuff that gun owners need to know and learn?
So a gunfight is, if you don't trust me, get on YouTube and look up gunfight. Look up security camera footage with guns. A gunfight is not going to look like 90% how 90% of us shoot. It is not going to be stationary. You will not be flat-footed. A gunfight doesn't care if you're using the isosceles or the weaver, and it will shoot back. Something is going to be throwing something at you at 950 feet per second. It is going to be movement, not just because that's tactically intelligent, because you got to get the hell away from whatever that guy is throwing at you as quick as you can. And so one of the best examples is an unnamed student of mine who I know puts 500 rounds down range every time he shows up, and he shoots at stationary targets. And I did a private lesson with him. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to walk to the left, from your left to your right, facing 90 degrees away from the target, and you're just going to walk. And you're going to shoot to your right at the target while you're walking. I'm going to stand behind you, hold your belt and your shoulder, and you just unload the magazine as you're moving slowly. He did that, and his eyes got wide, and he's like, that's the coolest thing I've ever done. I'm like, you got to get out more, brother, because you have got to be training. If you're throwing that lead down that range at the cost of ammo right now, you have got to be doing some serious training. And so what we do is we have one of the things I've talked about on this show before is our handgun aptitude test, which is a way that you can analyze your reload skills, your fixing malfunctions from the holster. You have a lot of different things that are more applicable. We're also going to be rolling out Defensive Handgun 1 and Defensive Handgun 2 that are curriculums that we've 45% come up with our own and 55% stolen from people smarter than us. And we're going to roll those out in 2024. And it's going to be all about, let's start moving like what a gunfight looks like.
I think that's important. There's not enough training on that. I shouldn't say there's not enough training. There's enough training. There aren't enough people taking training like that, and they should be. Alicia, what's a non-marksmanship thing, skill set, curriculum that you teach that people need to know that maybe people aren't thinking of?
So kind of get out, something different than what Mike and Jim talked about. I think if you've not practiced a holster draw or a draw from some type of concealment, you're not magically going to know how to do it. We saw it with the homeowner in LA. The draw that you come out with, that grip that you get, that's what you're stuck with. You don't have time to adjust. You don't have time to fix it.
His was a mess.
It was a mess. Yeah.
It was.
It was
I
pretty
watched
bad.
it again after you talked about it last
Right.
week. I said, oh my goodness.
Right?
Surprised he didn't shoot himself in the foot.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Or
was
get a
close.
malfunction. So, the idea is that, in addition to getting rounds down range, get that grip, learn how to establish it, learn how to draw, learn how to get that proper hand placement, and be proficient at it, practice it. Don't think you're magically going to know how to do it when the time comes.
There is no substitute for learning how to draw.
Tell me they didn't practice.
One of the most dangerous
Except
times.
for maybe learning how to paint. That's
Tell
a
me
good
they
substitute.
didn't practice back in the cowboy days.
I know they did. There's all kinds of quotes on some of the more famous gunfighters. Wyatt Earp talks about put me on the spot and I can't quite remember it. He talks about how accuracy beats speed. I forget his quote, but yeah, they absolutely practice. Sure, and of course
Why
some of
shouldn't
the
it be any different today?
some of the showmen were big. Hickok was a huge
Annie Oakley.
practicer. Annie Oakley was, absolutely. I think it's crucial. It's important.
One of
when
the
you-
most dangerous times is going to be when you reholster as well. So it's not just getting it out; it's putting it back.
It's what he said. I don't care how fast you miss.
That's it.
Is that what it is? Is that the quote? I mean, it is something like that. Or
It is something like
yeah,
that.
you can't miss fast enough,
You
or
can't-
something like
I'm
that.
not
Or
impressed by how fast you miss.
yeah. That's it's something like that. Which in a lot of these, IPSC and IDPA, the way their scoring is set up, that you can't miss so fast that you win the competition, which I think is smart. Because marksmanship is obviously extremely important, but really what it is, it's proficiency. It's not so much the marksmanship; it's the proficiency, which is the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
It's drawn from concealment. It's the whole kit and caboodle. So, what do you think? What's Jim? What's another thing that people show up? What's something that? How many times have you had somebody they've had a gun for 20 years or 30 years or whatever, and their dad taught them and their grandfather, and they've been shooting for 100 years or whatever,
Those are the hardest students ever.
and
Aren't they amazing?
Yeah.
Right?
so and they know everything, although they're taking your class. What
while
what's
they're pointing their gun in the air like this, yeah.
what's the big what's their biggest mistake usually?
Well, we know that accidents all happen ignorance, and they're more ignorant than anyone. They won't clean their guns. Somehow these people think that when they put their ammo in a can, that picks up women when they're all loose. So there's all this testosterone stuff going on the range, and it really gets difficult for us because they have an answer for everything. And then you just
Yeah.
say, well, let's go out and let's just shoot. Let's see what you got. And they make 100 mistakes. And now you got to make the decision. Do you really want to teach them?
Wow.
You have to. The
Well,
most
you had
difficult
that.
thing.
Alicia had that the other day with that one woman
Yeah.
that came in
Yeah.
and scared the hell out of you.
Yes, sir.
Well, that'd be a funny skit. Mike was kind of talking. That would be a funny skit, like a video where,
Mike can star in it.
there you go.
did, yeah.
Like, somebody, draws from concealment, against a bad guy, and the bad guy's like, wait, stop. And like tells him, like, look, you're not going to come at me with Weaver, man. You have a little bit more respect for me as a criminal, and you're standing there in your Weaver
would be
stance,
good.
Anyway, because they make we do a. What do you think about this statement, Jim? I think as the gun owner community across the board, no matter what it is, we are the very best at making mountains out of molehills.
Absolutely.
Like 9mm versus 45, and AK versus AR, and all these different
Oh, we can't wait to create an argument over something. We just can't.
Kirk
I don't
versus
care what it
Picard.
is. Yeah, no, exactly.
What do you-
holster you should wear at this time? Mike and I just recently became NRA training counselors, right? I don't know about Mike's class, but I was there.
What's a training counselor?
We certify instructors for both the USCCA and the NRA.
Gotcha.
And it's a nice privilege to have, but we both like to teach. Many of them don't like to teach, but it's a
2 minutes.
when you go there to teach, you're going to stand there, and it's a CCW class. Of the 10 guys in my class, only one guy wore an inside the waistband holster, me.
Yeah.
And Mike, how would you do? He doesn't want to say.
No. It's absolutely inside the waistband holster. The thing that caused me a laugh. I don't want to interrupt you. The thing that caused me a laugh is I was just thinking of the guy in class. The guy in class is always the guy,
Right.
who says I know what's going on. I'm just here for my wife.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the guy who's got the bad rig. And
That's funny.
So Jim, jump back in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your.
Okay, so we got like 1 minute. Then we're gonna go do Stump My Sam. And so Mike, what's your website?
You can check us out at the-ppa.com. And then we also have our handgun aptitude test, which is at
1 minute.
handgunaptitudetest.com.
Nice. And then Jim, what's your website? How do people find
Paragraph 2, the number.net.
His is much easier.
it? There's no hyphen.
So you're going to get all the training. You're not getting nothing.
Let's train with all of us. I mean, these are all good people, and don't stick with one guy.
Yeah, but his is too
Learn.
hard. He needs a simpler.
Well,
Okay.
I really like the fact that you guys are both here in the studio together. You guys are clearly, friends, as well as, you're in the same industry. It'd be so
Competitors.
easier for you guys to be competitors, and you're not. A high, what is it? A high.
We're not.
High.
He's so much better looking than me.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it.
I know.
my
I know,
wife
I know,
thinks
I
so.
know. Alicia told me.
A high tide. Well, Alicia's got everybody beat on that.
She does.
If that's how you're going to train, Alicia's getting all the customers. So, but a high tide raises all ships, right?
Yes,
that
yes.
needs to be the attitude. Going into 2024, the gun community, that should be our New Year's resolution. A high tide raises all ships. Enough with this infighting
Somebody else has got
competition.
that.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.